Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timo Parker. I'm a vocal coach and I'm here to help you to improve your singing voice. In today's video, I want to answer the question if you should sing when you are sick, because just a few days ago I had a session with a new student and he got sick shortly after, and he wrote me an email and asked me, should I sing while I'm sick? Should I still do the exercises that you gave me? And I think it is very important, not only for him, but for everybody to know what you should do when you are sick. What can you do? What should you avoid? So let's dive into this topic. So first of all, when you are sick, in general, you should always rest. You should listen to your body and give it the rest it needs to recover. So especially if you, for example, have a sore throat or pain in your throat, that's an indication that you are fighting an infection there, and then it's not a good idea to train or to sing. So in extreme cases, for example, if you come down with a laryngitis, when you have an infection in your larynx and your vocal cords swell and you lose your voice, that's a very extreme version. But if something like this happens, just as a little extra tip, you should even avoid to listen to music, because when you listen to music, and especially if you hear someone sing, you sometimes activate your vocal cords and put them into movement without even realizing. So this is just a mechanism of the body that it simulates what it hears. So just in case you come down with this specific thing, make sure you're also not even listening to music, and give your voice and yourself a proper rest. And even though you should rest your voice and you should relax and recover, there are some things that you can do to see how the state is in here, in your throat. So let's assume you have to sing even though you have some symptoms, or you just recovered from a cold and you don't know when to start singing again. This could be sometimes also tricky to find out. So there are some things that you can do to see how your voice feels. So when you are sick, what could happen is that your vocal cords swell. So like any other muscles, they can, due to an inflammation or due to holding water, they can inflammate and they can get bigger. So if, for example, your voice is very bassy, you have this morning voice all the time, that's a clear sign that you have an inflammation on your vocal cords, and then you should definitely not sing. So other symptoms, for example, like mucus, is not as bad, because we always have mucus on our vocal cords. It's to a certain degree a protective layer on our vocal cords to keep them nice and lubricated so they can create all these sounds and create all these shapes. So the thing is with mucus, that mucus itself is not necessarily bad. And also if you have the feeling like there's mucus on your vocal cords or in your throat while you speak or while you sing, and you clear it out, it's not a problem. The mucus itself is not the thing. But the way you get rid of the mucus can cause problems, because you have two ways to clear your throat. You can either clear your throat with something like this, or you can, for example, cough. Two different methods how to clear your throat. And the clearing sound, the first sound that I just did, is not very good for your vocal cords. So even if you're not sick, you should try to avoid making the sound all the time. So basically what you're doing in order to get rid of the mucus is that you make contact with the false vocal cords and you let the false vocal cords rub against the vocal cords in order to get rid of the mucus. And that's why you have this clearing sound that you create when you do that. But coughing in this sense is a little bit better, because we just have a quick contact between false vocal cords and vocal cords, and then it releases immediately again. So it's just like a quick contact between the two. So whenever you have the choice, you should always try to clear your throat with coughing rather than doing this prolonged sound that you do in order to get rid of mucus. You see that a lot in the movies. Someone's coming up on stage and before they start talking, it's like so this is something that you should try to avoid, and rather cough if you feel there's something stuck here. So coughing itself is better than clearing your throat, but still if you cough a lot, that's also a clear sign that you should not sing, because even though it's just a short contact between the false vocal cords and the vocal cords, you're still making contact, and that's not very healthy for your vocal cords. And also due to this contraction between these two, the vocal cords can get a bit stiff and it can get a bit hard to create sound. So definitely when you're coughing a lot, then you should definitely rest and don't use your voice to sing. And the same goes with if you have a very bassy and very low voice, then you should definitely rest. So one thing that you can do to find out how bad it is when you are sick is to do the yawning test. So when you are yawning and you feel like it's very uncomfortable, there's maybe even pain, on top of that you have a coughing sensation, that's a clear no-go. You should definitely rest and don't use your voice. So now the question, let's say you got over the cold, yay, finally, you can get back to singing. And the question is, when should you start and how should you start again? So the first thing that you should do is to do the yawning test and just see how you feel when you yawn. And if it still feels very sore and you feel pain, you should still wait. Especially if you have a coughing sensation, then definitely no. If you're still coughing a lot, even though you feel better, you should still wait a couple more days until the cough goes down and you stop coughing, because that's not really helping you to get back into the singing, because as I said, the vocal cords stiffen up. They are a bit more delicate because of the constant contact. So just take a couple more days off until the cough goes away. So the only thing that you don't have to worry so much about is the mucus once again. So when you come out of a cold and you still feel like, oh, there's something there, but it doesn't hurt, and it's more annoying than actually soreness or anything else, then you could start singing again. And the way you should do it is very gently. You start in a comfortable range and you slowly introduce this movement again. It's a bit like when you were sick and you start working out again. You don't go all in after you recovered. You gently come back to the training and gently introduce movement into your body again. And this is the same principle here. So, and one thing you want to focus on after you were sick and you get into training again, it's actually something that you should always focus on, but the first step is to create a lot of space again in your instrument. Because if you were coughing a lot, chances are that the rooms got smaller and smaller, so especially the room between vocal cords and false vocal cords, and you want to make sure that you create more space again so you can sing freely. So important here is a lot of yawning, as always, and also I have an exercise that is called wide thyroid cartilage. I can link it here, and you just want to make sure that you open up the instrument first in a comfortable register, extend the range a little bit, and just make sure you create a bit of space. And also, if you just start again with your vocal training, take it easy. Just take the first 2 sessions and really focus on regaining the space that you had in your throat. So let's come to the last question. What should you do if you have cold-like symptoms and you have to sing a gig, maybe on the same day? So if you have inflamed vocal cords, if your voice is very bassy and it's very hard to speak, or you are coughing, you should seriously consider to cancel the gig. Doesn't matter how important it is, because your health always comes first and you don't want to injure yourself and you don't want to work against your body. So if there's any possibility to cancel it, do it and postpone the gig or find a substitute if possible, which is always a bit hard as a singer, I know. But things like this happen, and then put yourself first, put your health first. So if you have a bit of cold-like symptoms, but you actually feel okay and the only thing that's bothering you is the mucus, that's something you can work with. You just have to make sure to warm up properly to get rid of the mucus, so there's a lower chance that some mucus releases when you're singing the concert. And this is also sometimes inevitable if you have symptoms like this, that you create a bit of mucus also during the concert, and then you just have to work around with it. It's really annoying, but it's not as bad as a cough or the inflamed vocal cords. And you should take a similar approach when you sing a concert and you have mucus as when you come back after a cold and you sing again, to make sure that you really open up the rooms, so all the mucus can come out of the laryngeal ventricle, the mucus can come off from your vocal cords, and then there is less of a chance that you will have the release throughout the concert. Okay, that's it for today. To sum it up, in general, always prioritize rest when you're sick. If it's just mucus, you can work your way around, but in general, listen to your body, relax, recover. And if you're watching and you came down with something, get well soon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. I have more voice content planned here. If you're interested in working with me, make sure to check out the link below, which brings you to my website where you can book one-on-one classes with me. In the classes, we can focus on personalized goal, and together we will make sure that your voice is growing with the right training. So thank you so much for watching, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.